Hello, St Dunstans, and happy week 5 of our full term of remote learning. Well done, all of you. I have heard so many amazing things about how much great learning has been going on from home, and I have loved all the emails and videos people have been sending in of your drama activities that you have been doing at home. Thank you so much for those. They have really brightened some of my lockdown days. I hope you are all happy and well and enjoying your remote learning, enjoying this opportunity to spend a bit more time at home, hopefully some of you with your siblings or your families. I'm here today to do an assembly, and before we start, I'm just going to give you a little chance to see if you can guess what the topic of my assembly might be. Mrs. Robertson, what would Mrs. Robertson be doing an assembly about? Let's see, tell a family member or pet or houseplant what you think my assembly might be about today. Although actually, having said that, I'm not entirely happy with this environment for my assembly. If we were all at school, obviously we'd be in the Great Hall and it'd be quite majestic and a wonderful place to stand and talk to you all. So I wonder if there's something I can do about that. Let me have a think. Okay, let's see if we can make this look a little bit more exciting. After 3, I would like you to close your eyes and snap your fingers and see if we can make this all just a little bit more interesting. Okay, 3, I'm going to count backwards. 3, 2, 1. That is so much better. Now I feel like I am where I want to be for my assembly, as probably most of you guessed. I was super excited when Miss Whitwood asked me to do this assembly because I'm going to talk about my favourite subject, which is the theatre. Now, everyone, just about everyone, I think, at St Dunstan's will already have had the chance to perform in a play, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Occasionally, I perform in plays too, away from school, and I think it's a super fun thing to do if you have the chance. I highly recommend it. So I'm very excited that that's my topic for my assembly today. Could you just take a moment to tell your parent, your pet, or your houseplant some ideas of what you think I might be going to say we could learn from theatre in real life? Well, when I started thinking about it, I thought there's quite a lot of things I've learned from being in plays. Some of them helpful, some of them not so helpful outside the theatre. I have certainly learned to wear some lovely outfits. I have definitely learned to pull some very funny faces. And I have learned to wear some fantastic wigs. There are some other things though, when I thought a little bit harder about it, that I thought I would share with you that I have learnt in the theatre, that when I've been in a play, that I found quite useful in real life situations. So here are a few of those ideas about things you can learn from being in a play that you might like to take out into real life with you and see if they make your life that little bit better. So the first really valuable lesson I think we can learn from being in plays or musicals or putting on performances together is about teamwork. And I would summarise that lesson by saying you have to work with the team that you get, not just the team that you want. And what I mean by that is that sometimes, particularly in class, if your teacher says to you, form a team, your instinct, one's natural instinct, is to say, oh, where are my friends? I want to work with my friends. I love working with my friends. This will be super fun. We'll do the task together and this will be brilliant fun. And that is perfectly normal. Everybody has that instinct. But if you get cast in a play, you don't have any choice at all about who you work with. For the most part, you have to work with whoever the director has decided is going to be in the play with you. And I think that's a really super valuable lesson. You might find that you're working with people who you think aren't as skillful as you. You might find that you are working with people who you think don't work as hard as you do, aren't giving it as much as you are. You might get frustrated with them. You could, and this happens in real life, you could end up on a team with somebody that you don't even know why. You just don't like them. And you can't explain it, and it seems weird, but that's just the deal. You just might have to work with someone you don't like. And in all of those situations, there's only one thing you can do, and that is to put those feelings aside and work with the people in your team. You have to be kind, you have to be supportive, you have to be encouraging to the people around you when you're in a play, because it can be tiring, it can be difficult to do, and everybody's under a lot of pressure. So I think one of the really valuable things you learn from being in plays is that no matter how you feel about somebody, you have to work with them in a team and be kind and supportive and friendly as long as you are working towards that goal together. Okay, so first lesson, teamwork, fantastic. Second lesson that I thought was really useful in real everyday life situations is best summed up when people say that if you are lucky enough to have an audience, you have to respect them. If somebody has come to see you be in a play, they could have given up all sorts of other things they could have been doing with that bit of their time. They could have probably spent the money to buy a ticket to come watch you. So they are already giving you a gift by being in your audience. And the lesson that I take away from that is that you have to give it 100% every single time. You have to ignore the fact that you might be feeling tired. You have to ignore the fact that you might be feeling a bit grumpy. You might have to give up a little bit of late night screen time or telly watching to get an early night to make sure that you are on your best form when you've got the responsibility of being in a play. And I think that's a really valuable lesson for everything you do. If you are going to do anything, it is worth doing it 100% every single time. You'll get more out of it, the people around you will get more out of it, and you will do a better job of it. So not just in theatre, but in every single thing that you undertake, you have to think to yourself, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it my absolute best. What do I have to do to make that happen? What might I have to give up in another area of my life? What do I have to prepare? What do I have to get ready? I have to learn my lines. I have to learn my moves. I have to learn what other people are going to be doing around me. I have to really concentrate and focus. And by doing all of those things, how can I make every single activity that I do, every single school task, every single social time, everything I do, 100% the best I can do it every single time? Okay, so the third thing I think is really, really useful that you can take from your experience in drama out into the rest of your life and benefit your life and those around you by doing is something I would summarize as act as if. And the brilliant thing about acting is that you can be anyone or anything you like when you're acting, anyone or anything you need to or that occurs to you even. But Mrs. Robertson, I hear you say, I'm just me. I'm not an ice queen. I'm not a polar bear. I'm not a young wizard who can save the entire world with my magic and bravery. But if you are an actor and you're playing those roles, you have to act as if you are. And the big secret about acting is that if you're going to be even halfway good at it, you have to act as if and think as if and feel as if to the best of your abilities. You have to do that so concentratedly that you start to convince yourself, as well as the people around you, that the thing you're acting as if is actually true. And this is a really, really useful skill to have in real life, because the weird thing is, if you act as if really, really, really hard, quite often in real life, the thing that you're acting as if will start to become true as well. You will start to believe it. So as I say, this is a super, super useful skill to have. If you act as if you are something that you want to be, in all likelihood, you will start to make yourself more like that thing in reality. Now that might sound a little bit weird, but let me give you some examples. Let's say I have to do something that I really don't want to do. Let's say I've got some tidying up to do, or something a bit tedious, a bit repetitive to do, not my first choice of things. I often find it's really, really hard to get started. And then even when I get started, it's a bit of a chore. Find myself getting into a bit of a negative mindset about it. And that makes the thing even more difficult to do as I'm going through it. But what I have found is that if I act as though whatever the task I'm going to do is something I want to do, the task weirdly seems to go a little bit more quickly. If I tell myself I'm looking forward to this, or I'm glad that I'm doing this, the task itself seems easier to start, less dreadful, and even more enjoyable as I am doing it. And if you don't believe me, the next time that you have something that you're not particularly looking forward to, just have a go. Act as if you cannot wait to get started, and that can be whatever you like. You could jump up and down and clap your hands and squeak with excitement and say, "Oh, I'm so excited." You can tell everybody how keen you are to start your homework. Whatever you do when you're really looking forward to something, try doing that about a task that you're not particularly keen on. And then when you've started the task, if you find yourself getting distracted, take a moment and tell yourself all the reasons that you are enjoying it, even if you think you're not. Tell yourself, this is great, I am loving this, this is so amazing, I've already done this much of this, I'm going to do the next bit, and that's going to be excited because A, B, and C. And maybe just run downstairs and tell somebody, hey, I've already done exercises A and B, and now I'm moving on to task C, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. Even if you are not, tell yourself that you are. Keep going and going, and see if that makes it just a little bit less onerous. Another example, on a day when you're feeling a little bit scared of something, a little bit miserable, maybe for no reason, maybe you're just having one of those days, you're a bit grumpy, I have found that no matter how grumpy and sad and miserable I might be feeling, if I slap on a massive grin on my chops and tell myself I'm really going to be happy today, I'm going to be really happy and positive, and take that positive energy out into the world with me, and if I keep making myself put that smile back on my face, keep thinking of nice things, happy things to say to everybody, bizarrely, after a little while, I do actually start to feel better. I'm acting as if I'm happy, and that acting as if you're happy and calm or not scared can actually start to impact the way that you're actually feeling. It's as if putting on a massive happy face and putting on a super cheery voice starts to convince my brain that it's all got it all wrong, and I'm actually feeling very, very cheerful. So again, this is something for you to have a try at home. The next time you're feeling a bit glum, a bit anxious, or a bit grumpy and angry, think about how you would rather feel, and then act as if. Act as if you are already feeling that way. Whatever you do when you're happy, whatever that looks like, try acting as if you're happy and see if it starts to make you feel a little bit happier. And now just one last example. that goes back a little bit to what I was saying about teamwork, because I can imagine you thinking, Mrs. Robertson, if I don't like someone, I just don't like them, and that is all there is to it, and there's nothing I can do about it. That may be true, but I think when you are dealing with people, if you act as if you like them, you may find that you get along with them a lot better than if you sit in the feeling of not liking somebody and concentrate on all the bad stuff, which will just make that feeling worse. So, I am not a saint. I'm going to let you in on another secret. Sometimes I don't like people. I just don't like them. Sometimes people can be annoying. Sometimes people can be rude. Sometimes I think people are being selfish or unkind, and that can be really hard to deal with. It can feel really unfair. In that situation though, when there is someone that you just can't seem to get along with them, I have found at times it's been really useful just to act as if I did like them. And it is that simple. Just act as if you do like them. Act as if you are friends. It's not necessarily going to change everything. It's not necessarily going to make you into best buddies. But acting as if you like somebody has the brilliant advantage of making you look for good things about them. When we have friends, we look for what we like about them. And if you don't like somebody, if you don't get on with somebody, but you start looking for things that you can like about them, you will probably find it's a lot easier for you to get along with them. And of course, we react, don't we, to how other people behave to us. So by acting as if you like somebody, you might find that you are unlocking more friendly behavior back from them. You might find that you do start to find things you have in common, ways you can get along, and just the benefits of being around that person rather than constantly focusing on the negative. So to summarize acting as if you have a negative situation, any negative situation, a difficult or uncomfortable relationship, something you have to do, or just some feelings that you're struggling with, all of those things are completely valid. However, since in life we don't always get to choose how things go, you can use acting as if to make those situations more comfortable for yourself, and see if by acting as if things were more positive, it doesn't make those situations not necessarily 100% resolve themselves, but definitely improve. So there we go. Those are the 3 top tips I think we can all learn from working on drama projects, on performances and musicals and plays that we can take into real life. And what I really look forward to seeing when I start to work with you all on your drama activities when we get back to school is how you can take those ideas, bring them into our drama lessons and make those drama lessons really fun and supportive and kind and nurturing to one another, but also how you can think outside of the drama classroom. Okay, this situation's a bit tricky. What skills did I learn from my drama teamwork activities that I can use in this situation? So I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, you're very welcome to email them to me and let me know what your thoughts are. And just to say a final goodbye, I will now show you yet another picture of me wearing a silly wig, doing something slightly silly. Have a great day.